What is going on, guys? It's Kyle O'Hare, and today we're back with some more UFC predictions. Since I'm the GOAT of predictions, you guys might want to follow all these picks. We know I'm not cursed at all. Let's just get right into this, all right? No need to yap for a while. We have Jack Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates CP in the main event. If you guys didn't know, it's a super early card. I'm Eastern time, so I think the card starts at 4 in the morning for me. So make sure you check your time zone and see when this card starts so you don't miss it. I honestly don't know if I think I have to wake up early because we're just gonna start off. The first fight is Cody Steele. This is my boy. Like, me and him are boys. We've trained together, talked to him, and yeah, I'd feel bad missing watching his fight, so I'm gonna wake up and watch. I might wake up, watch Cody's fight, and then sleep until, gosh, I might sleep honestly until I might sleep till the main card. But yeah, let's start off. Cody Steele. This is my boy, so I'm not gonna bet against him. I'm not gonna pick against him. They finally put the odds back on the UFC site, which is really cool. So I don't have to pull up, DraftKings. But he's a -190 favorite. Cody is a very violent fighter. His hands are really good. I know he's been working on his striking for a decent amount of time now. I got to train with him in December. We did a grappling round, and he is a lightweight, so he's a lot bigger than me, but he is smothering. He does. Usually, when I train with people bigger than me, yeah, they have a strength advantage, but a lot of times I could tell that they don't have the technical ability. They kind of just use their strength. He was not. He was very technical, and he pretty much just held me up against the cage wall the entire time and just brutalized me. And yeah, Cody Steele, great dude, really funny guy, really cool dude. I'm sorry, I'm glazing him. All right, enough with Cody. Next, let's move on to Themba versus Jonathan. Themba's one of those guys that had a lot of hype just because of his story for a while. But then with the recent back-to-back losses against Vicente and Wells, kind of lost some of that hype and some of the momentum because he was going bang, 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 bang. He got that house from The Rock. That was really cool. That went kind of mainstream. But he's fighting a guy in Jonathan McAuliffe. Not going to lie, not too familiar with this guy's game. I don't really know much about him, but he is the favorite. A lot of these guys I don't know much about. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm going off vibes. I don't think we're coming to this channel for very analytical, analytical picks. Besides, I guess the top ones, I can give some more insight. But on some of these prelims fights, I don't have time to go and look at all these fights and break them all down and see who I actually think is gonna win these ones. But I'm gonna go off vibes, and I'm just gonna say Themba gets a bounce back win. I don't see him dropping 3 in a row, but again, you never know. So I'm gonna pick Themba there. Next, we have Ben Johnston versus Wes Schultz. This dude's hair is sick as hell. I might pick him just off that. He lost to Penis. Uh, and all right, come on, I'm an adult. And he's fighting Ben Johnston, who is. Let me see what his record is in the UFC. Come on. No fight. It's not letting me click his fight history. All right, just because it's not letting me click his fight history, I'm gonna bet on Wes just because of his hair. He's a +120 underdog. We love that in the UFC. We love getting a little plus money action. Next, we have Colby Thickness versus Vince Morales. Okay, so I know that Colby is a training partner of Volk's, and he's been training with them for a long time. And I know that Vince is a training partner of Cody. I know that they train together. I've never met Vince, never met Colby, but these guys both come out of camps that I like. I know that Colby had to fight Ilya's brother, and then he got a win against Musasa, whatever his name is. And Vince here, he had a loss to Raul Rosas, lost to Smith, and oh, he's 0-3 in the UFC. Okay. Yeah, that's usually not ideal, but I honestly haven't been too impressed with Colby. But I think that he has a lot of potential. I really do. I think he got a lot of hype just because of the camp, and I think he had like cancer or something like that. I could be completely wrong, but I think I'm right on that. I don't see where I would just make that up. This fight to me is a pick. I might have to watch more of their fights and more of the tape, but just based off UFC record, I'm gonna have to go with Colby just because he is 0-3. But it is hard to lose 4 fights in a row. I don't know. I'm gonna go Colby. I'm picking Colby and I'm moving on. Gonna just It's a 50-50. But now we have Jacob Malkoun versus Gerald Meerschaert. Poor Gerald. I feel like this is a guy who just constantly just gets thrown into just getting his ass beat. People like, look at this. Are we dead ass? 1, 2, 3. If he's in a 4-fight losing streak, so maybe it isn't hard to lose 4 fights in a row. Gerald Meerschaert does just enough to stay in the UFC, but just continues to lose. unfortunately. No shade to Gerald Marchard. I think he follows me on Instagram, actually, so I'm not going to bash him too much. But he seems like a cool dude. But he has lost to Kyle Dawkins and Olin Jankshuk and Brad Tavares and Renner DeRitter, which aren't bad opponents. But, it's not a good look when you continue to get, beat and then you go up and you're the plus 700 underdog. This is probably his going out party in the UFC. I don't imagine him losing this and them, letting him stay around just because I don't think anyone's ever lost 5 fights. Actually, that's a lie because Tai Tuivasa is on a 6-fight losing streak. We could talk about that. But yeah, I'm going to have to go with Jacob just because, come on, minus 1,000 favorite. I can't go against that. Next, we have Junior Tafa versus Kevin Christian. I really like Junior Tafa. I think that he is going to win this fight because, yeah, I just think so. He's lost 2 in a row. A lot of these guys that I'm looking at are just coming off like losing streaks. There's not a lot of guys that are on crazy win streaks right now. This guy has only had 1 fight in the UFC, and he lost to Elikana. So I think just experience for Junior Tafa is going to be the decider in this fight, having more UFC fights, more experience, and having UFC wins under his belt. Next, we have Robert Ryschek versus Cam Ralston. Not gonna lie. Oh wait, I do know Cam. He has the weird hair. Yeah. He's won 2 fights in a row, both by knockout. I do know this guy. I was almost a casual for a second. I really like this guy. I like his striking. Sorry, if you hear a little sniffle, that's because, bro, I've been fighting a cold for like over a week and a half. And then Brad Tavares is showing up on this list a lot, but he beat Brad Tavares and lost to Pateria. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember much of these guys' fights, but I do know Cam, so I'm just gonna pick Cam. Moving on. Okay, now we have some more well-known names. We have Tai Tuivasa versus Louis. And man, what has happened to Tai? The fall off of Tai Tuivasa needs to be studied. He was 10 seconds away from beating Cyril Gahn and fighting John Jones for a belt, and then he just decided to do this. Just L, 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 L. What happened? He lost Pavlovich, Volkov, Tybura, Rosenstruck, and Teixeira. I mean, it's just brutal. Brutal stuff. I mean, he did lose a split against Rosenstruck. I guess I'd have to watch that fight back. But, dude, it's hard to lose. I said it was hard to lose 4 fights in a row. It's got to be hard to lose 7 fights in a row. He's a minus 205 underdog. It's in Australia. He's on home turf. He's fighting Louis. I don't even know this guy. I'm not even going to lie. He does. I think I recognize him, but he's 0-2. So we have 0-2 in his 2 fights and then 0-6. I mean, Tai Tuivasa has to win. Like, there's no way he doesn't win this fight. If he doesn't win this fight, just yeah, bad look. Man, I remember when Tai Tuivasa was on the top of the world doing shoeies and having a great time. Okay, now we have Brando Perisic. Sorry, casual on the names. He's 2-0. Oh, he beat this guy. He beat Sutherland. Okay, knocked him out in the first round. So this is a guy that just coming off beating Tuivasa versus Shamil Gaziev. I love Shamil Gaziev. He's a funny guy. Some of my boys do content with him, but he did just lose to Waldo Cortez Acosta. But we all know Waldo's a killer. He's looking insane right now, looking like he can make a title run. He got knocked out in the first round. I'm gonna take Shamil in this fight. I think that he has. Sorry, my freaking throat just got dry. I think that he has really good striking. I think that he's dangerous. I think that he has enough to make a run in this super boring heavyweight division. I think that if he could pull some strings together, pull some fights together, get his striking going, that he could become a star just because his personality is funny too, and he's funny looking. I think being funny looking in the UFC is a great base to getting your name out there. So I'm gonna go with Shamil Gaziev. Next we have Marwan Rahiki versus Oli Schmid. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know ball. I have no clue who this dude is. He just fought Hardwick though and knocked him out. Dude, there's so many like guys in the UFC. I feel like I feel like I don't recognize them just from these pictures. I got to actually see them. He's fighting Ollie. I don't know enough about this fight. He's a minus 800 favorite. I'm going with Marwan. Gonna move on. Why does the UFC site suck? It does not let me scroll up. Okay, next, this is a good fight, good flyweight bout. We have Steve Erceg versus Tim Elliott. Steve Erceg is a guy who had so much hype, was looking so good, and then, got thrown into a title shot against Pantoja. Looked great. He did look great. And then just lost to Kai Kara France. Lost to Kai Kara France, lost to Brandon Moreno, and then he did beat Odie Osborne. I don't know. Steve Erceg is a guy who had a lot of hype, and then I think he just got rushed to a title shot. And he did look good in the title in the fight, but I don't think that it was something that you know was great for his career. I think if he would have started a little bit slower and worked his way up, but he is fighting a guy in Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott's been around for forever, bro. I feel like I've been watching him fight for a minute now, and yeah, I mean, look at all these fights. Look at all these fights, dude. He's been in the UFC for so long. He's fought so many guys. He beat Asakura, which was crazy. And lost to Makayev. He's had Ulanbekov. He's beaten some good guys, and he's a vet. This fight could go either way. I could see Tim Elliott slowing this fight down, getting him to the ground, and kind of being a vet. And I could see Steve Erceg shutting his lights off and ending him. But I do think that Steve Erceg is going to catch him with something. I think that his youth and I remember seeing a lot of potential from Steve Erceg, and I do think that he could still be in the top of the division. And I think that Tim Elliott's kind of on his way out. So I'm going to pick Steve Erceg here. Next, this one's a no-brainer. Quillian's my boy. We're actually supposed to go gambling soon, so keep your eyes out for that. Summertime. Me and Quillian, we are going to win $1 million at the casino. I think that Quillian is just on the uprise of his career, and Benil's on the downswing of his career. Quillian has great striking. He's a very accurate striker, and I think that's a big deal. Is that when you're striking, you need to be accurate as like also powerful. And I think that he does. He throws intelligent strikes. He doesn't just throw strikes to throw strikes. He throws them very intelligently, and they're very vicious. Plus, his grappling is so underrated, and I think he's a great grappler, which is I think a lot of people would assume that Benil would be able to take this fight to the ground and kind of try to win like that and be a vet. But I think that Quillian has really, really good offensive and defensive grappling that's going to shut down Benil. And I think that his striking is going to be able to set up opportunities for him to actually be the one dominating the ground attacks. So I could see Quillian just kind of dominating this fight. I think that it'd be good for him if he didn't get a finish. I think it'd be good if he goes the full 3 rounds with a guy like Benil and get that more experience because what his last 2 fights have been finishes. Last 2 fights have been finishes. I think it'd be good to get some more cage time against someone like Benil. So when he moves up the lightweight ranks, he has that feel. Damn, that's the co-main. Wow. So I'm going to go Quillian there. Next, we have JDM versus Carlos Prates. This is a really, really, really interesting striking matchup because Jack Della Maddalena, on paper, I think that he has the crisper boxing style, like boxing specific. And what I mean by that is like his combinations are more boxing oriented, and I think that he's really good at drawing on combinations, and he's very sharp. But Carlos has CP has that one shot power, and it's kind of something that's it's kind of like that Ilya power where it could end a fight in an instant. At any moment, Carlos Prates can end the night. He's shown it with Leon. He's shown it with Jeff Neal. Rest in peace, Jeff Neal, man. That was brutal. And just all these knockouts, if he had any bit of a gas tank, he would have beaten Ian Gary too. He would have knocked him out. So Carlos Prates is one of those guys that just is so good at generating power that it doesn't matter how good Jack Della Maddalena striking is. If he lands that singular strike, the fight could be over. And I love Jack Della Maddalena, but I don't know, man. This fight is rough. This is a rough fight. This one has me perplexed. I do think that him going 5 rounds with Islam, though, is great for him and his development. Having an staying alive against Islam for 5 rounds, I don't think you guys realize how tough that is. Yeah, he got dominated, but staying alive for 5-minute rounds against Islam Makhachev on the ground pretty much the entire time is a huge accomplishment. And then he worked so much grappling for that fight, and I think he did the same leading up for this fight. I could see JDM trying to implement more grappling into his game plan just because of all the improvements that he made to try to take Carlos down and wear him down, knowing that Carlos is prone to not having the greatest gas tank in the world. Maybe that's a product of him smoking and drinking all the time. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but if I had to take a guess, if I had to, I don't know. I would put it on the drinking and smoking, but I don't know because I think most fighters drink and smoke. Some don't. But I'm going to lean JDM just because of the craftiness of the boxing. Plus, I think that he can mix in the grappling really well. Now, that doesn't mean I think Carlos can knock him out, obviously. He is so dangerous. The entire fight, I think that Carlos Prates has that X factor where the fight could end like this. but I think that JDM could do a really good job of pressuring him and not allowing him to land and getting his range in that mode where he can land that vicious one-shot knockout, and you can kind of slow the fight down. And it is a five-minute round fight, which I think favors JDM as well. So I'm going to lean with Jack Della Maddalena in this fight. Those are all my picks for the UFC Perth card. I'm really excited for this. This is going to be an amazing card. The only problem is that I will have to be up really early. So that, that really sucks. But it is what it is. We're going to watch. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more UFC predictions, let me know. And make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. It really helps me out a lot because I'm poor. So help me out. Also, there's a merch link down below, merch link, and it's also in the little products thing that I added there. Looks pretty cool. So make sure you guys cop yourself some merch. I appreciate all you guys. If you're going to gamble, make sure you bet responsibly. And I'll see you guys. Love you. Have a good day. Peace.